Welcome back to another episode of Sailing Learning by Doing with Vernon, Eli and me, Mary Morgan, aboard our floating house, Trade Runner.
So we've anchored here at the river mouth. We motored from last night's anchorage, which you saw in last week's video actually, over at where we got the water. So it was a couple of hours motoring up Kaboui Bay to this river mouth that I've seen this river for years and we've just never been here. This is a very remote corner of Raja Ampat, Kaboui Bay, and no one really comes up here, but I've seen this river and it goes several kilometres up into the jungle and mangrove, and I've always sort of thought, oh, that would be cool. And so we're doing it today. Hopefully you can come and enjoy it with us. But yeah, we motored up here and then the squall hit and we just pissed down with rain for about an hour, and we just dawdled along at 2 knots because we couldn't see anything. So we just cruised along and then we got to 5 metres of depth and like threw the anchor down, and we're like 1/4 mile from the actual river mouth, and Eli and Maria just getting ready, and we've got a friend with us, Scott, a friend from Bali. He's with us for a few days and he's coming up here. And we're going to send it in the dinghy, go up this river and check it out. Hope you enjoy this one. You go in the dinghy? In the dinghy?
These kind of adventures are always hard to capture in videos. It is hard to give you the immersive experience and thrill we have when we are going deep in nature. So I will try to describe it as best as I can. Equatorial environment with its thick warm air, hard to breathe, the exuberant flora with all sorts of shapes, textures and smells, which seems to grow so fast that it gives me the impression that I could be swallowed by the jungle if I would stay still too long in it. Sometimes I feel almost secured to hear our outboard just because it is more familiar to me than the unknown nature sounds surrounding us. Or more surprising, the heavy silence, that it is so rare nowadays that it could make you uncomfortable in the first instance.
Yeah,
it's full of crayon in the tree.
What do you reckon, Eli? It's cool.
Do you hear the birds?
You hear the birdie birds?
but people.
What do you reckon?
This is beautiful. So, how you say, luxuriant, luscious?
Luscious?
Luscious green. Really crazy, especially after rain. Everything is shiny. Yeah, shiny. There are huge insects that I can come across on a branch or on the floor, and the other thousands that I don't see, but that my imagination is very good to picture. Everything seems so full of life and also hostile. You feel so small and kind of vulnerable, but also so alive to realize how complex are all these lives interdependent. There are some invisible force and power you can perceive in this wild environment.
So we've only, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes up this river, so maybe a kilometre. But it's super cool already. It's sort of the mangroves at the entrance is sort of given way to starting to get into the jungle already, and the bird life up here is pretty cool. That's a nice singer. Just as I told you about the bird life, we heard the wildest one ever. It was like an orchestra sort of. So cool. This is where an electric engine would actually come in really handy, because we could cruise up here and hear everything and birds wouldn't be disturbed as much. With the old Yami 15 was sort of drowning everything out. But yeah, it's pretty epic.
We are feeling really blessed to be able to experience this immersion in the wild, as this kind of place are not easily reachable and more rare to find. We are also glad to be able to show them to our son. He will probably not remember this adventure, but we are sure that the feelings and perceptions of this place are kept somewhere and will make him grow up with a sensitivity for nature in general. He is already loving to show us birds, bugs or flowers that he is spotting particularly well.
It's like a nest or something.
One of the cool things with having a YouTube channel is that every now and again companies reach out to us with a product and ask us to promote it for them. And I mean, most of them are just, we don't promote. For example, last week we got hit up by Better Health, I don't know, like the online psychology sort of stuff. We're like, no, sorry. As much as that $1,000 would be awesome, it's not what we want to sell to our viewers. So these guys hit us up, Sportich, brand by Sirui, and they make optic lenses for cameras and filming gear and all that sort of stuff. And they also make scopes for hunting and bird watching and binoculars. And they asked us if any of their products would be useful for us, and we said, yeah, binoculars, waterproof binoculars like these ones, excellent. Because my old ones, they've been using them for 10 years now. I got them for my 40th birthday. And they've been amazing, but the coating's starting to get a bit worn on the inside. So the timing was perfect. And so I ordered these ones. And in good faith, I can tell you that they are awesome. And this model has a rangefinder, so I can push this button and tell you exactly that that tree over there is 111.1 meters away. And I'm looking at 3 degrees upwards. That doesn't really help us on a boat, but the distance is actually really helpful for anchoring other boats around or the land around, because often it really looks close and then you realise you get in the dinghy and get a different perspective and realise that, oh, it's heaps of room. And with this you can be just like, okay, we've got 400 metres to the next boat and I've got 60 metres of chain out, so we're fine. So we're pretty far up now, I'd say 3/4 of the way. The tide's just turned. We timed it so that we came up with the incoming and then hopefully get to the top around when it goes out. But it's hard to know exactly the tide table because it's 20 miles from here, and I'm guessing up the river it takes longer for the tide to get its way up. But the leaves that are in the water has just started to go downstream. But we're not far from what I think is the top, but it's amazing. There's like palms growing in here that I've never seen growing in places like this before. Like Alfred Wallace, who went through here a couple of 100 years ago, he must have just been mind blown, like we are, but we sort of know stuff now, like crazy. Every bird that sung would have been unknown to Westerners. He would have just been like, oh look, there's 17 butterflies that no one outside of Papuans have ever seen before. I mean, we haven't seen them either, but we're going to leave them in peace. We're not trying to capture anything. But this is so sick. This is so cool. This is what we do this for, really. Like, we are feeling, all of us right now, that, well, we don't know what's around the next corner, and it sort of feels like we're exploring and no one else has ever been here. And that's what we're after, really, with this lifestyle. Oh, look. There we go. This is a spider that has never been seen by humans before.
Yeah, I would have preferred to never have seen it.
Looks friendly.
So we've reached the end of the liquid road. There's a tree falling down here in the background, and
Fire.
we can't get under that without having a chainsaw or a beaver, a pet beaver.
Fire.
And there are
Spider?
spiders,
Did
yeah.
you see some spiders? So spiders have been falling out of the trees as we've been going up, and Marie loves spiders, so that's been interesting.
Yeah, in the tree. You are pointing the trees.
Tree, they fall out of the trees. But yeah, wow. So we're just leaving Kaboui Bay now. Last night we anchored right up in that back corner, and then this morning we motored up to there and went up the river, and now we're heading out here, out of the bay. It's a pretty big bay. It's 10 miles sort of in each direction, and yeah, we're heading out to go to another spot. But that was epic, that river thing, like none of us had ever seen it before, and just exploration, man. It's just what we like to do, eh? It's what we like to do. Love it. So cool to see all that stuff and show it to our friend Scott. And Eli won't remember it, but he'll see some of this footage and be like, wow, I had a pretty cool babyhood. We hope that anyway. Okay, so I've anchored up here behind this beautiful little island. We're in the sort of a hole in the reef here. It's nice and sheltered. And I thought I'd tell you a bit more about these binoculars that I started talking about up the river, but Eli rudely interrupted. So, yeah. Alright, so we've been using these things for about 3-4 weeks now. And I must say they're pretty great for what we need them for. They're waterproof. They come in black and green. I picked the green just, I don't know. Everything else is black or white on this boat, so colour's good. Very adjustable. With Marie and I have both got different eye types, so we can adjust them for ourselves, and the width as well is very adjustable. They've got little knobs down here. I guess that's where the lasers are for the rangefinders. The rangefinder you activate on these two buttons here. It's pitch and distance. Yeah, good little lens covers. Just great little binoculars, to be honest. The optical range is a bit further than the last one, which you'd think is a great thing, but actually on a boat, because you're moving all the time, you don't want too much zoom because it's really hard to keep it stable if they're not stabilized. But these are about the right amount for us. They come in this cool little case. There's some spare battery for the rangefinder. I can imagine that really lasts a long time because it's really just a little display. A cleaning thing, and yeah, it's just a cool little case with a good zip on it. But we don't use it. We put this up here on the dash and we leave them up there all the time, inside, outside, raining. They just stay up there. If you're interested in a pair of these, and I can recommend them, like I'm not just trying to sell you something here. We do use these basically every day on the boat. There's a link below for these, and we get a small cut of that. If you buy a pair of these, you're actually helping us out. I think we get 10% of the value of these. But yeah, well worth your money. I mean, investing in a really good set of binoculars on your boat, it's just money well spent, you know, like just buying crappy ones that are gonna, the first time they get wet, they're gonna get humidity inside the lenses. You're not gonna want to use them anymore. They're just horrible. So yeah, anyway, that's the binoculars. Okay, well that's the end of this video, guys. We'll see you again next week. Next week we're actually hauling trade runner out in Sarong. Woo! I'm a bit wet, dude. This big squall has just passed over, but it's over there. Up ahead's looking good. Anyway, yeah, we're hauling out trade runner next week in Sarong, so look forward to that. There'll be a video or two about that. Yeah, hauling out in remote places. It was interesting, so fingers crossed that that all goes well. And yeah, don't forget to go and check these things out on the website. There's a good big link of all the things down below. And yeah, massive shout out to all our supporters, be that on PayPal, obviously Patreon, and then memberships on YouTube. There's also a few of you started to join up there now, which is really nice. All of it really helps us out. Obviously, I've said it a few times. Our earnings are, well, $500 a month now. And we're still just about surviving on that. So if you guys think you can't do this life on the cheap and enjoy all the stuff that we do, think again. We're doing it cheap. A lot of rice and pasta eating, but it's going all right. Anyway, thank you very much, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.